and what I'm gonna go through here is I'm gonna show you Asuka's move list, and I'm gonna show you like their properties, maybe frame data, like what situations you would use the moves in, and I'll try like elaborate on the purpose of the moves and what kind of use them in. So this will be a little bit more raw and unedited compared to the tutorial I put up. This is just one section, this is like one big section. It's just going to go through her whole move list and describe the uses and properties and so on. So we'll start with her whiplash. Okay, this to start first of all. So her jab, her just one on its own. Unlike most characters, her jab isn't plus on block. It's actually -2 on block. It's +9 on hit, so it's good frame advantage at least, and it is her 10 frame punisher. Like her jab is her 10 frame punisher. Now it is the worst 10 frame punisher in the game, but she does have some good, nice frame advantage. So like a nice flow chart that I like to do is jab on hit into 1+2. So they can press buttons, they can duck against it because it's a mid. Because it's a mid, so they can't duck against it. They can't step it because the frame advantage. And they can't press buttons because it's a +9 into a 16 frame move, so they can press buttons afterwards. You're thinking, okay, it's -2 in block, so how can I pressure from this? It's actually alright that it's -2 in block because she has loads of extensions from it. She has so many options from her jab. So the first one she has is 1-1 called Whiplash. So 1-1. Now it's not a natural combo, but it is natural on counter hit. Okay, for future, I'm not going to say frame data. Like I'm gonna have it on the bottom of the screen. Like it's right there on the bottom of the screen there anyway. So I'll just talk about the properties instead. So you can look at the frame data and kind of see what it's like. So it's natural on counter hit. You can't press buttons in between. So the high into the mid, you can't interrupt it, but you can parry it. So you can parry it. Like a punch parry or something like that. You can do that, but otherwise you can't interrupt it. Now, so it's not listed, but she has another follow-up from here, so it's 1-1-3. So basically what this is, it's a mid-ender. It's a mid-ender to the string here. What it is essentially is, right, so it's natural if the second hit connects. So it's unnatural if the second hit connects, but it's not natural the whole way, because that would be really cheap. But the second hit on counter hit into the 3 is natural. And on its own, the last hit on its own is... The last hit on its own is a counter hit launcher. So if you think they're going to be like pressing buttons, you can kind of go for this. If they're like really like antsy, buttony kind of player, you can start going for this. So you can combo off it there. And combos are my other video. If you want to see combos, watch that. For here, I'm just going to go through moves. It's really good for mental frame advantage. So you can start doing like 1-1, and then you can kind of pressure from here because they're afraid of the mid follow up of the last hit. So they're afraid of the last hit here. So you can really like bully them and start using your mental frame advantage, or go for grabs as well, and so on, or just pressure in general. Like so she has 1-1-4, which is basically can-cans on its own. So 1-1-4. So the ender there is just basically can-cans on its own. So it's not natural in any way, because that would be kind of stupid. But it can be delayed. So if you think they're going to press buttons after the 1-1, you can delay your can-cans. You can delay the ender, and you get Kent launcher. I'll show you here. You get Kent launcher. And it does 5 damage. Like she blocks it out. One second. Just guard standing there. So on one, see, as you can see, it does 5 damage. The low in the can-cans does 5 damage. So even if they block it, you still get a little bit of damage. And it's -6, so there's a little bit of pushback. Like I said, it's good if you think they're going to press buttons, go for a delay and catch them. And if you think they're going to like duck it, you can kind of fuzzy guard the string. But if you think they're going to duck it, you can just chuck out this safely, you know, like keep them in check. She also has 1-1 into Dan 4. Now, I wouldn't really recommend the string because it is slower than it was before, but it can catch people out. It can. I have had it catch people out in tournaments, so I think it is maybe a little bit viable. I just wouldn't recommend it going for it too much. But basically, it's the same as her like 3-4 low. It's the exact same as the 3-4 low. It's not natural in any way, but you can kind of catch people out, and then you get a combo afterwards. And just space less. You can get a combo afterwards. You can not with that. You can get crouch cancel down up 4, and so on. So yeah, if you think they're not going to be ready for it, you can maybe throw it out once in a while, but not really a string I would recommend. So let me see her move list. It's missing some moves for some reason. Yeah, okay, so look, her jab, uppercut. Okay, so next move. Now 1-2. 1-2 is her 10 frame. I'll just go on to the next one because that's the next one. Yeah. So we're in previous, okay. Oh my god, this menu, man. Okay, so this string here, 1-2, it doesn't show the 4 ender for some reason, but you do 1-2-4. So basically, that's all natural. 10 frame, natural counter hit string. It's good for a knockdown. It does 32 damage. You can hit confirm. It's quite easy to hit confirm as well. You can get wall splat from a distance. So it's pretty good for 10 frame, like hit confirmable, like panic kind of string. And it's just another defensive tool that Asuka has to, you know, make the opponent respect her. You know, if you think they're going to be pressing buttons at a disadvantage, you can just chuck this out, hit confirm it, and get a little bit of damage out of it. It's minus 12 on block, and some characters can't even punish it. So even if you just throw it out anyway, some characters can't deal with it. I'm not sure who exactly can, but I believe characters like Jin and Lily can punish it. There might be more. But that's I'll research and stuff later on. So for now, just know that you can hit confirm this string. 1-2-4, easy enough hit confirm on counter hit. And what's the next one? Next one is yeah. So it's just jab string into the heel, her spin, her infamous mid unblockable string. I'll go over that in more detail with 4-3 on its own, but basically this is just kind of like mind games. Like if you hit this and counter hit, you can kind of like force them to block +6 move. The second spin is +6 on block. The final spin is unblockable mid. The first spin is -2, I believe, -2, -3, something like that. You can throw it out, I suppose. I mean, if your opponent's going to respect it, you can get some frame advantage on block. Not really string I would use much, but it could be used. You know, it has situational uses. Like if you want to make your opponent just respect, and then you can kind of mix them up a little bit on block. Like if they want to interrupt the unblockable, you can like just release at the second spin and just catch them trying to interrupt the last hit in the spin. The last spin, I mean, jeez, my English. So yeah, but not really string I use much, but it has its uses. I just covered that. I thought that was missing from Movelist. Okay, so you know, you can crack with this, like 10 frame hit confirmable string. 1-3, okay. So this got buffed in Tekken 7 from Tag 2. It's 0 on hit. So it's also natural on counter hit. So, you know, remember we talked about 1-1, and then she has all these mid strings, like jab into mid. This is your low option. So 1-3, it's just a little quick low poke. And yeah, it's just like harass them up, you know, just harass them. It's natural counter hit. You can just annoy them, just frustrate them. It's 0 on hit, so you can still like kind of jab pressure away or sidestep, make them whiff, and then whiff punish them, and so on. Yeah, it's 1-3, you know, low poke from jab, that's it. Not much to it. 1-4 is the other low poke. It's the same as her down back 4. So down back 4 and 1-4, same low, exact same low. It's natural on counter hit. It is, yes. So it has the follow-ups with 1-1-4, 1-4-4-4. I'll cover that in a wee while with down back 4 on its own. Sorry, then back 4 on its own. So 1-4 is just another low option. I believe on counter hit it has a natural launcher. So the 1-4 on counter hit. So you whiff the jab, 1-4-3 natural launcher on counter hit. It's just another annoying low string from it. You know, you can hold down to go into front crouching mix-ups. That's it really. Just another annoying low poke from her jabs. What's the next one? Next one is 2-1, 1+2. So 2-1, 1+2. This is now high in Tekken 7. 2-1 is natural on its own. It's an optional 12 frame punisher. Like, it's good frame advantage. And if you're not sure something's unsafe, you can try for -12 moves. For -12 moves, if you're not sure something's unsafe or not, you can do this to check if it's -12 or not, because it is safe on block. You can duck the second high, but it's really hard to do if you're not looking out for it. You can duck the second high, but it's really hard. So the high follow-up 2-1, 1+2. Now be careful with this, because I'll show you why. Just try not to get into the habit of throwing this out too much, because I'll show you why. Because it is duckable. Just remain, yeah, it is duckable. So be careful with that. Yeah, be careful. You can't duck. You can cheese people with it, because it is a launcher on itself. By itself, it is a launcher. But just if people know to duck it, just be careful with it. You know, like. So next, 2-3. So her 2-3 is her 12 frame punisher. So it knocks down, it wall splats. I would just keep this move strictly to. It is launch punishable on block, like -19 on block or so. So I would just keep it strictly to punishment, nothing else. It's pretty good for 12 frames, good range. It wall splats from a little bit of distance, and please just keep it to punishment. Don't really just chuck flash, because it's not worth it at all. Because it is launch. There's nothing more I can say about this really. Just 12 frame. That's it. I really like this move. So 3-1. It's natural and normal hit. Like, you don't need counter hit. It's natural and normal hit. It's good damage. It got a damage buff in Tekken 7 from Tag 2. The first hit on its own is +9 on hit. So this is +9 on hit. It's hit confirmable. Like, it's quite easy to hit confirm. You can delay it slightly as well. And the second hit on its own, so if they block the first hit and then get counter hit by the second hit, it is a combo launcher. But it's character specific on what you can actually get from this. So on Asuka, you probably just get 4-2 or something. Yeah. Some characters you can get them back 4-3 as a follow-up. Some characters you can do dash 1+4. I have to make a list on what you can do in each character, but just know that you can get damage off this in some way if they get counter hit by the follow-up by itself. So they block the first hit and then press buttons and get counter hit by the second hit. It's good because it's delayable. It's only -11 on block. So it's not that bad on block at all. It tracks to her left a tiny bit, so opponent's side step right and my left. So it tracks a little bit to Asuka's left. It's good. It's 14 frames, so it's fast. Like, it's pretty fast for a mid. It's definitely an underused move. It's good to keep them in check up close. Just make sure you hit confirm it. You know, maybe you can throw it out. Maybe just throw a second hit on block sometimes. You know, to catch them pressing buttons on block. But overall, pretty solid move. Not more I can say on it. I need to use it more myself personally. What's the next one? What we have is Sacred Blade, so that's her 3-4. It's a low launcher. It is seeable. There's a cancel option as well, so you can. It is a seeable low, so I would be maybe in like good connections or offline or something. But if you do manage to hit it, you get crouch cancel, then back 4-3. crouch cancel, then back forward 3. I would recommend getting crouch cancel, then back forward 3 as the staple for it, because look what, if you try while standing 4 at a range, so about here maybe, it'll whiff, see it will whiff, so it won't hit at all ranges, whereas crouch cancel, then back forward 3 will. So that's why I would recommend learning how to do that, just in case you hit them while they're backdashing or something. So they backdash and you hit this tip range or something and your while standing 4 will whiff. So just kind of make sure you're ready for that, situation. So in general, I wouldn't throw it out too much because it is, I think personally, it is seeable, even with the cancel. So you can use this as a clutch. There is one situation you can use it, however, though, because it high crushes pretty quickly. If they're like doing jab pressure on you, like jabs into throws or whatever, you can do this move to slip under. So slip under the highs and go for a combo. So that's like one situation I'll use it in as like a ghetto panic move. Other than that, I don't know, it is seeable, so I wouldn't really throw it out too much. But that's it really for this move. What we have is Sacred Blade, so that's her 3-4. It's a low launcher. It is seeable. There's a cancel option as well, so you can. It is a seeable low, so I would be maybe in like good connections or offline or something. But if you do manage to hit it, you get crouch cancel. Then we're just the move list. So I'm just going to talk about that. So we'll talk about her 4. Now, it's a standard magic 4 for females. So females magic 4s tend to be 11 frame startup, and it's a counter hit launcher. So you can do it. The combo's a little bit tricky, so it does need practice. But you can do dash 1+4. I can't anyway. There you go. So dash 1+4. It takes a little bit of practice. It is definitely a combo you need to practice. Or you can do 4 into 4-2 for an easy follow up. You can do that, but I would recommend learning the dash 1+4 because it's so much damage. Like compared to the other follow up, it's quite a bit of damage. That wasn't even a combo. Yeah, dash 1+4. I will learn how to do it. It is her 11 frame Punisher. It's +7 on hit and it's 18 damage. It is her 11 frame Punisher. There's not many situations where you would use Magic 4 as 11 frame Punisher, but it is there if you need it. So if you think your opponent's going to be like button heavy on you and you think their prison buttons at a disadvantage, or they're going to go for a slow move on you, you can stick out 4 and then get a follow up afterwards, because it's 11 frame. That's really fast. That's only 1 frame faster than the fastest move in the game. So jabs are usually 10 frame and then 4 is 11 frame. So you can imagine that's really fast. So what's the next move? 1+2. 1+2 I think it's one of the cheapest moves that she has because it's a launcher to start with. It's a mid launcher and it launches crouching. So I'll show you now. It launches crouchers as well. So you don't need to worry about if they're crouching or standing. It's 16 frame. That's a little bit fast. It's okay. It's a mid. It's safe. That's the main thing. It is safe on block. It is safe on block. So if you think they're going to duck in any situation, just run up 1+2. So like I said, like jab +9 on hit or 3 +9 on hit, they can't do anything but 1+2. They have to backdash 1+2, but they can't press buttons against it. They can't duck against it. They can't step against it. They have to respect the 1+2 or backdash it, which not a lot of people do up close, but that's a different story. So yeah, abuse this. I mean, personally, half my matches is just doing this essentially because it's so abusable. It's safe. It's a mid launcher and hits crouchers, and then get a combo. Down back 4-3, 2-1, 1+2, down 4-3, whatever. Save mid launcher. Abuse it. It's cheap. Go nuts. 3+4. What I really like about 3+4 is it's a really good Oki tool. Now, well, sorry, to start with, you can actually get combo off this. Now, this is might be the hardest thing Asuka has in Tekken 7, but you can do 3+4 into dash 1+4. Now, I'm going to try a few more times, so I don't get it, I'll give up. But I can guarantee you, it is a combo. So 3+4 into dash 1+4. Yeah, see, there you go, third time. So, it is a combo, it's really hard. Personally, I don't know if I would try it in game. If you're an execution guy, you go first, you can try it. You can actually get 4-2 as an easy mode follow-up. You can actually hold down afterwards to go into crouching, unblock, or unhit. At the wall, it's really good at the wall because you can get like... where's the wall options? There's the wall options. You can actually just get back 4-2-3 afterwards. I think you might get something a little bit better. Yeah, you can get this as well. Let's go back to the start. So 3+4. Now, the main purpose I will use this in is for Okizami. So it hits grounded. I'll show you where. So it hits grounded. So you can do 3+4 to hit grounded. It's good because it hits grounded, like I said, like 5 times. It's a mid. It's safe. It's safe on block. So it's safe on block. It's a mid. And it hits grounded. So think of how many options that cover on the ground. So they stay on the ground, they get hit. They stand up and duck, they get hit because it's a mid. They try a get up low kick, like this here, like get up low kick here. They can try this, but that crushes it because it low crushes as well. So it covers a lot of options on OP. So that's the main that's the main purpose, like I would use it for just Okizami. So 3+4, cover many options and wake up. Good move in my opinion. At the wall is really good as well because you get easy modes or combo follow up. Alright, what's the next one? I just removed the move list first. Just playing again. So, what's that one for? Okay, well, ignore that. Ignore that string, that's kind of crap. But, so what's yeah, okay, so this is the one you want. This is the one you want. Now, I wouldn't throw out 1+4 on its own because you can down jab it, so I'll show you. Repeat action, record, replace record. So this is, okay. That's what I'm going to say for anti-Asuka. This is not a mix-up. You can actually down jab, even on hit. You can down jab to interrupt Asuka from continuing the string, so it's not a mix-up. It is not a mix-up. So people think there's a mix between the mid-ender or the low-ender. It's not a mix-up. You can interrupt it. But I'll do anti-Asuka in another video. For now, I won't say why Asuka's cheap. So this is, the main purpose of this move is, it's actually her wall-ender. So, I can't read it off the noise combo. Will this hit the wall? Please hit the wall. Don't embarrass me. Okay. This is the main purpose. It's her wall ender. It's really good damage. Like in tag 2, she had to do 1+2 bend 4 as a wall ender, but this string got buffed, so it hits everyone at the wall. So 1+2 into 4 into the mid ender hits everyone on the ground. Outside of combos, I wouldn't personally because, well, there's no mix up in it. Like you can then jab the Heron string, you can then jab the 1+4 before she gets to finish the string combo ender. That's the main purpose I would use it. This is the low ender I was talking about. You can actually combo off it. It has some uses. Like if you get like Oki, in an Oki situation where you make them tech roll into, so if you make them tech roll and so the first few hits and they tech roll into the ender, I'll make a video explaining that, like a different video. I'll make an Oki video, like a proper Oki video, so don't worry about this too much. But you can make them tech roll into the ender, so it actually becomes a 50-50 that they can't do anything about. But I won't complicate it too much now, so just for now, in the open, like at neutral, I wouldn't use the string personally. What's next? This is just 1+4 into the spin. I'll talk about spin. That's the same as the 1, 2, 3 into spins. I'll talk about spin later on its own as well. Right, so again, you can interrupt dash. So this is not mixed up as well. So the next move is 2 plus 3. Now 2 plus 3 is an interesting move because it's a punch Tsubaki. So Tsubaki means that it absorbs a move. So a punch Tsubaki would absorb a punch. So it's a launcher on normal hits. Sorry, let me turn off all this stuff. So it's a launcher on normal. So it's a launcher on normal hits. It's zero block. It's a high. But what's interesting about it though is the fact that it absorbs a punch. So for example, okay. So it absorbs a hit and then she launches them. So watch. See, she kind of pushes her Asuka's the punch away, and then you get a launcher off it. So it's really good against characters with whose offense is orientated around punches. So characters like Steve, obviously, because he's a boxer. Kasumi, with her jab, down for one, jab pressure, that kind of Kasumi spam pressure. It's good against that as well. Those two mainly I would consider using this move against. Or if you read a punch move coming at you, you can chuck this move out at them. That's what I think it's good for. So just 2 plus 3 and then go for launch, etc. So the next move is forward 2. What makes forward 2 so good? Like if anyone's picking up Asuka, this is one of the reasons why. Forward 2 is her main whip punisher from range. Like look at the range on that. It's 17 frame and gives you a big combo on hits. And it's a mid as well, so any moves that recover in crouching, she can still hit them anyway. If you're playing Asuka, this move must be on your mind all the time. Like you must sleep, eat, breathe, live for it. This should be ready to whip punish any move. Like your fingers should be ready to whip punish anything with this move. So you can kind of harass the opponents up a little bit with forward 2. So you can chip them up a little bit, force mistakes out of them, and when they whiff something eventually, bam, forward 2, that's it. So remember, if you're an Asuka player, your main combo damage should be coming from forward 2. And I can't stress enough, forward 2 man, such a sick move. If you're playing this character, definitely use this move. And it should be instant, shouldn't even have to think about whip punishing with it, it should be just natural if you're an Asuka player. That's it. Nah, the spin. Right. This move had a bit of controversy in Tekken 7 because the unblockable at the end, it used to be a high in Tag 2, it is now a mid. It is a really good buff for Asuka. I will go into a lot more detail on setups where to use the unblockable. Actually, I do have a video right now. I have a video up right now of one setup where you can use your unblockable. If you want to watch that, I don't want to go through it again in this video because it'll take up too much time. You can watch that video to learn more about the 4-3 unblockable mid. Right now, I'll just quickly go over what it does. Okay, so one spin is -2, I believe, on block. The second spin is +6 on block. +6 on block. So you can frame top with 1 plus 2 afterwards. Right, I'll show you for example. So record into 1 plus 2. And it will trade with jabs, but you can still combo off it. So play away. But you can still combo off that. So let me just set this back to stand, okay. So first spin is -2 on block. Second spin is +6 on block. And the last spin is a mid unblockable. So they have to act against it to interrupt it. They have to be quick to interrupt. They can also step it. Now, see, this is where the mind games come in a little bit. So if they want to interrupt the last unblockable, if they see it coming at them and they're like, oh shit, I'm gonna quickly interrupt this. You can cancel the spin into the second spin or first spin, you know, and hit them before they can react and interrupt. You can cancel it at any time as well, so you can hold back to cancel it at any time. So if you want to make them freeze up and then go for a mid or something, just go. Well, I like doing this off. I like doing the second spin off knockdowns. So I like to force them to attack roll into the second spin. So say for example, so attack roll into the second spin. So they're forced to block it. They can't do anything about it and wake up. They're forced to block the second spin. And once you condition them to block the second spin, you can sometimes let the third hit just rip out. It wall splats way from an angle. Look, probably wall splats from here. Yeah, it does. See, and then you get dash up. 1+2. Oh, remember that's the wall ender. So this move, pretty good move. Really kind of situational. But once you get more experience with this character, you can kind of see where and when can you go for this move. Right, what's next? Ah yeah, okay, that's the Black Bolt version. Next one, forward 4. So forward 4 is a +3 on block, natural launcher now, and it's a homie move. It's a homie move. That's when I say that to people, they're like, "Wow, isn't that cheap?" Yeah, it's pretty cheap. It is actually pretty cheap. So it's +3 on block, natural hit on launcher. So you don't need counter hit. You can just throw this out, and you can get a combo off it. I believe it's this. Yeah, so you get a little combo off it. So if you think that they're going to step you or even sidewalk you, just throw this out. Even if they block it, you're +3, so you can still frame trap with down forward 1 or down forward 4, you know, like, or even just jab strings if you want to be like high kind of pressure. But down forward 1 is good afterwards because it trades with jabs in your favor. It's a homing, so like I said, if you think they're going to step you, chuck this out. It's a little bit slow. It's 19 frames, so that's a little bit slow. So just be a little bit careful about throwing out against a button-y kind of opponent. But yeah, plus frames, work away with it. Throw it out if you think they're going to step. If they don't, you got frame advantage. You're cool, you're grand. So good move, top 10 move. That's a top 10 move. Definitely recommend it. Forward 1+2. So this is her Power Crush. I believe it's -11 on block. It's a Power Crush. It's a high, so just be careful they don't duck it and confirm that they ducked it and then launch you for it. But it is a high, it's a Power Crush. It's more or less safe against nearly everyone. Yeah, just carefully if you do it against the wall. If you do it against the wall, there's like no pushback, so they can jab punish you here. So just be careful of that. You can throw it out after maybe doing a jab string into forward 1+2 if you think they're going to press buttons, or just chuck it out in general if you think they're going to press buttons and approach you with high moves or something, or even moves that don't recover in crouching. I mean, like standing moves. It's also her Punisher. It's 15 frames to ARP. So any moves where down forward 2 won't reach, this is her 15 frame Punisher mainly. So any moves that won't reach with down forward 2, you can sub forward 1+2 in as her 15 frame Punisher and throw it out as a Power Crush because it's safe-ish against most characters in the open. What's next? Down forward 1. I'll just go through down forward 1 on its own. It's her generic down forward 1, like 13 frame mid poke, like most characters has this. Asuka's is pretty good, especially because it's really plus on hit. It's like +8, +9 on hit. It tracks to her right a little bit. It tracks to her left. It tracks to her left a little bit. So opponents slice that right, your left. So it has follow-ups, as you can see. So down forward 1, 2, it's only natural on counter hit. So down forward 1, 2, see it's natural counter hit, and you get a little bit oaky afterwards. It's a safe high. This is a safe high. You can't interrupt it on block. So if they try to press buttons, you'll just catch them. It does jail. It doesn't jail on block. So what I mean by that is, well, I'll show you what I mean by that. So down forward 1, 2. Right. So look what happens when I try to jab. I'll just get hit because you can't interrupt it. You can't interrupt it. but I can do den chop because it doesn't chill, which means I can go under it. I should be able to go under with den 4 as well. Yeah, den 4 it goes under as well. So, but I can't press anything else. I can't even jab. You can't interrupt it on block at all. Now, this is the other option I'll show you now. So stand up. So you think they're going to duck the high, right? The high is safe on block, so they want to duck it. They won't just let you abuse it. What you have is... Now, see, we talked about Asuka's high option from her downward 1 string, but she also has downward 1-4, which is mid-mid. So it's natural on counter hit. And the second hit alone is a counter hit launcher. You think they're going to duck the stage, you can kind of start throwing this out a little bit, or you can even just throw it out if you think they're going to press buttons afterwards, because it's airtight, so that means they can't press buttons unblocked after this. So this is guaranteed to counter hit them if they press buttons at all, and you can slightly delay it as well. So it's good. It's a good button to like catch people pressing buttons. Really good string, I think. It's only -12 on block, so it's not even that dangerous. Definitely a move. Well, I wouldn't recommend just throwing out unsafe moves all the time, but the option is there if you need like kind of like a cheesy counter hit string, you know, like, I mean, it launches, I mean, so good. And she's a high as well, so, and again, natural and counter hit. So that's alright. If you want to keep them in check, you know, just keep them, make them respect you essentially. Alright, what's the next one? Next one is den for 2. So her den for 2 is like just a generic den for 2. It's quick recovery. It launches on normal hits. It's 15 frame. It's only like +/-6 on block or something, so it's not too bad on block at all. It doesn't launch crouchers. But you know, you have 1+2 for that. Anyway. It's a good keyback move, so if you think they're gonna like come at you with buttons or something, you can kind of just chuck this out and keep them in check. You can use it as a frame trap up close or whatever as well. See, and it tracks to her right. So Asuka's right. It tracks to her right really well. So look what happens if I set Asuka to side walk all the way to the left after blocking a jab or something. See how well that tracks? So even at -2, it's really good tracking. Anyway. So it's good. It's a good move. You can kind of throw it out really because it is a safe generic den for 2. And yeah, that's it really for den for 2. It's our 15 frame Punisher as well. I didn't mention that. It's our 15 frame Punisher. Just chuck it out really. Den for 3 now. This is a new move in Tekken 7. What this move is, it's like a soccer kick. The animation is really good. I think the animation is so sick, but that's another story. So den for 3, what uses does it have? It's a safe mid wall splat move, so you can go all the way to the wall here. It splats. Despite what it looks like, it actually doesn't hit ground unit at all angles. So I think it doesn't hit from this angle. See, it doesn't hit from this angle, but like from this angle it should hit. Yeah, see there? But it doesn't hit if they're at this angle here, in this position. It looks a bit weird, but that's the story. I think it hits from this angle. Yeah, it does. So if they're face down, it hits from this angle. So it's a good groundish hissing move. Like, it's a mid as well, so if they stand up and duck, it'll hit them. It's okay. Like, it's an okay move. It's more for Oki, I think, because I have a video that explains a setup where you can float them again with den for 3 after a screw move after a combo. You can watch that video. It goes into more detail. I won't go into it in here again because it'll take up too much time. But den for 3, safe mid splat. It's alright. Why not? Good for Oki as well. Hit them on the ground. Now on to one of my favourite moves with this character. So den 2. Down 2 is a mid with good range, really good range. Look at this. It leads them in crouching on hit and on block. So what that means is they can't step in one direction. So I'll show you what happens when I hit myself with it. So actually, I'll just record that again. Alright, so same for Asuka, for the dummy. If I hit her with it, she can't sidestep to her left, so that's down on her side, and on my side that's right, so I can't step down. I can only step one direction. So that's why this move is so good in combination with this, which I'll talk about in a wee while. So these two in combination can really clip your opponent's movement at range. And it's also mid counter launcher as well on top of everything. So it's such a good move to like really control range from here. And down 2 on hit into down 2 is a frame trap, because this is +9, and then down 2 is 18 frame startup. So you can actually just frame trap your opponents by doing this again on hit, and they can't step it, they can't backdash it, they can't press buttons against it, and they obviously can't duck, and so on. So it's a really good tool, really good tool at range, and it's so good to bully your opponent with. And on block, you know, if they block it, there's still pushback on block, so you can still force whiffs. So I'll set her to guard all. So there's still a bit of pushback and block, so you can still set up whips with and then if they whiff anything, just forward to them, or even just quicker ones like downward 2 or whatever. So it's a really good move, really good tool. If you're an Asuka player, I would definitely recommend this move. Definitely top 10 move. What's next? Next is down 1+2. Down 1+2. Down 1+2 is a knockdown low. It's unseeable, and it knocks the other character down. This is really good because not only is it unseeable, it is really good Oki. So let's see what happens. So in the open, this is what happens when the other Asuka tries to get up. So immediate 4-4-3 is a back roll catch, and hits them if they quick stand as well. So stand up. See, it's really good Oki situation afterwards. Obviously they can just remain to make it whiff. So obviously they can just remain, make it whiff, but then you can start doing this and so on, or even just this into run at 4-2 or whatever. If you have rage, this is what you can do. So I'll have him set to put that back on. So now this is kind of hard to do, so bear with me. But if you have rage, you can do this. Not with 1+2. Right, so that means he did it too slow if that happens. No, that means he did it too slow. I mean, you can get combo off dash, like that's a back roll catch. But this is the one you want. Yeah, see, this is what you want. You want to hit them on the ground, and then you get free down for 3 afterwards. So you get 61 damage low off this move here. So 61 damage off an unseeable low. That's really good, in my opinion. So that's why Asuka's Rage Drive is so good in this game. And at the wall, you get easy 4-2 always. Like 4-2 is always free, like 100%. And you get good Oki situation afterwards as well. So down 1+2 into 4-2 at the wall is really good with Asuka. And yeah, I definitely recommend using this move. And you can like combine it with 1+2 as a safe mid launcher. So you can really create a mix up between down 1+2 low or dash up 1+2 as the mid option. And you can obviously do stuff like spin into them and then cancel into low, you know. Get creative with this move. Find situations where you can put them in and then go nuts with it. Use your mids to complement it. Next up on the list is down 3+4. So what's so good about Can-Cans is it jails on hit. So you get 5 damage, and it means they can't duck it after the low has connected on hit. and it's 14 frame. It's a 14 frame counter hit launcher. So I'll show you the counter hit launcher. So it's 14 frame counter hit launcher. Though is that it low crushes really early. So I think it goes airborne on the 4th frame. So it kind of hops over lows on the 4th frame, and then it crushes them on the 5th frame. At least from my understanding, anyway. And so it's really good if you think your opponent is going to press buttons at a disadvantage. So something with like a 14 frame gap in it, you can kind of just chuck this out to keep them in check. So it'd be like, you know, stop that. I know you're negative, stop that. Or if you think they're going to go for a slow low or something, or even just a low in general in their pressure, you can kind of throw this out to crush the low. So I'll show you an example here. So get Asuka to do, say, jab on hit into den back 3, for example. So I'll eat the jab. So I was -9 after eating the jab, and I can still crush the den back 3. So it's pretty quick, really good crushing. So it's pretty abusable. Now just be careful you don't whiff it, because it is pretty battle block. I mean, whiff, I mean. So, you know, if your opponent like used the movement to get around, you know, Asuka, and then you whiff can, and you would punish you. So be careful of that. Other than that, you kind of chuckle out whenever up close. Now, obviously, it doesn't tail on block, because that'd be kind of cheap. So if they hard read it, they can like duck it and then launch the high. But obviously, that is like a super hard read, because Asuka's so many good mids like this to stop them from just ducking randomly anyway. So Cans, top 5 move probably, one of our best panic moves, definitely worth using. What do we have next? Swell, oh yeah, that back one. So this move here it's alright. I wouldn't rate it too highly compared to her other moves. But then back one is a high crush, so she kind of ducks under, so it's really good against highs. It's a mid poke. I think it's like +3, +4 maybe. I think it actually might be +4 on hit. So +4 on hit. A little bit high crush. She goes under some jabs. She goes under all jabs with it. She has a low follow up with it's the next move, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So she's a low follow up with down back 1, 2. It's not natural. It's only natural in counter hit. I don't think it's hit confirmable. Yeah, it's not hit confirmable. I wouldn't say it is. The low on its own on counter hit gives a knockdown into 4-2. So you can kind of throw it out if you're going to be a little bit cheesy with it. If your opponent's not expecting low, you can maybe throw it out. It's only like, it's not even launch punishable. It's just a bit of a cheesy string, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would just use the first hit on its own to high crush some pokes, like characters like Steve, who relies on like high strings and high pokes to get his way with you, and you can kind of crush under that with that Mach 1. It's okay. Nothing to write home about. Okay, down back 2. So down back 2 I would call like a hard read move. So it's a really good hard read move. What I mean by that is, so it high crushes almost instantly. I'm like pretty sure high crushes like in the first few frames, so that's really fast. So if you think your opponent's going to jab you after hitting you, or if you make them block a move and they jab you afterwards, you can just do down back 3. So I'll show you. So say do Asuka doing an upward 3 unblocked into down back 2. That's a pretty common setup. So see, my jab gets crushed there like pretty quickly as well, because Asuka moves her head backwards a little bit. So, and then your combo off it is down back 1, 1+4, 2, 1, 1+2, and so on. So yeah, it's a hard read move. Like, you throw it out if you're 100% sure that they're going to do a jab or a high or something, and you just go under it and then get your combo. Other than that, it's a pretty situational move. You can find a use for it, go for it. Personally, I like staying safe, so I just use Dem back 1 to high crush under if I need to. But Dem back 2 is an option there if you need it. So the next one we have is Dem back 3. Okay, so this would be Asuka's main low poke at a range. So Dem back 3, like Dem 2, leaves them crouching on hit. So it leads them creation on hit. So they can't step one direction. So they can't step to the left on player 2 side, and they can't step to the right on player 1 side. So down back 3, look at the range in this move, it's ridiculous, like look, such good range. It's not even bad on block, I think it's only like minus 12 on block. So you don't need that much of a punish for it. And yeah, so if you combine the usage of down back 3 along with down 2, you can really bully your opponents from range, so you can really harass them with these two moves at range alone. They both do lose if the dummy steps to her right. So if the other Asuka steps to her right, it does whiff, but you do have other moves to keep them in check like this. But I'll talk about that later on. Or even 4-4-3 as a homie move, but again, later on. I'll talk about that later on. So down back 3, good low poke. If you see, there is pushback on hit, so you can't really frame trap too well with it. But if they mash something afterwards, you can quite easily make it whiff. With the pushback creations, you can make it whiff quite easily, and then forward to any whiffs they try. And at the wall, it becomes a lot better at the wall because they can't step away. They can't step away at all, and there's no pushback anymore on hits because of the reduced pushback with the wall. So you can really loop it, and it's +4, so they can't really do anything about it, and they can't step one way. And if they dare to press buttons afterwards, you can go for something like this. So that's a frame trap there. So remember, down forward 1 is 13 frame, and you're doing it from a +4 on hit move. So +4 on hit into down forward 1 3. It will was blast any buttons they try, or you can try. You can even do this for something safer. So you can really loop down back 3 at the wall because it's really scary to challenge it. So down back 3, really good move. Probably her best low poke from a range. Definitely recommend it. So what's next? We have back 1. So back 1 actually got a really nice buff in this game from tag 2. In tag 2 it was -12 on block and +4 on hit. It is now -10 on block and +6 on hit. So that's really good. Like this is a +6 on hit low, and it might as well be safe because let's set the Asuka to back 1. Sorry, we'll do that again. So set the Asuka to back 1 and then block. So you can't even do wall sliding 4 in this anymore because it's -10 on block now, so they can't do anything about it. They can down jab, but it is character specific on what down jab reaches. Like for example, Asuka's down jab whips. So I'm sure characters like Jack or Gigas will probably reach with their down jab, but Asuka's doesn't anyway. So you can assume it'll be safe against most of the cast on block. And you can low parry it, but low parry is hard in this game. It high crushes a little bit, as you can see. It does high crush a little bit. Well, it high crushes a lot actually, because she goes all the way down. So she goes all the way down. There's an animation on counter hit, so it does a 42 damage on counter hit. So it's pretty good damage for low on counter hit, and you get really nice OK afterwards as well. So blah 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 whatever. So yeah, that's it. Back 1. It's kind of abusable because it is more or less safe now on block. Really good frame advantage on hit. +6 is a lot for a low, and then you can kind of bully afterwards with crouching mix-ups. So yeah, back 1 I would use a lot more. Just be careful, it is seeable I think, but they'll have to low parry it. So not many people can low parry lows in reaction because they're so used to just blocking lows. So, and you can't even punish it on block with most of the cast anyway. So Lee can probably wall sliding 33-ish, but he's an exception. So back 1, good move. I would throw it out. Definitely a move to look out for. Back 2. Oh, okay. Now I have a really specific use for this move. So, well, what's next after this one? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So back 2 on its own. Usage over down with 1 or anything, like back 2 on its own is pretty whatever. But the 2-1 is mid into mid, It's the exact same as her 113. So 113, but just replace the 1 with back 2. So back 2, 1, 3, back 2, 1, 4, back 2, 1, down 4. You know, it's the same as her jab swings, except it just starts with back 2. So what I like to do, where I would like to use this move is if at the end of a round they have a tiny bit of HP left and you don't know if they're going to duck. You can do back 2, 1 to kind of put like a mix up on them. So because it has back 2, 4 as the mid into low, so mid into low or mid into mid. So if they duck initially and eat the back 2, you know, you win the round. You know, if it kills them, you win the round. If it doesn't kill them, if they blocked it, you can go back to 1 for a mid option, or you can go back to 4 as a low option. It's good, you know, as a canned 50-50 depth mix-up kind of thing, you know. So that's where I would like to use it. I would just like to use it on opponent's top down and just mix them up. Or you can even just mix them up in general with it. That's where we use it mainly. It has, so what's next? Back 2, 4. It's the same as down back 4, like I said. It's just down back 4. Same frame data, 0 on hit, and so on. With back 2, 1+2. This is the other option you can do. So it's actually into a high. It's all natural and counter hit. Actually, you see back 2, 1. Yeah, back 2, 1 is natural counter hit as well. I think back 2, 4 isn't natural counter hit. So back 2, 4 is a natural counter hit. But back 2, 1 is. Back 2, 1 is. So back 2, 1+2 is all natural counter hit. So it's hit confirmable as well. So you can stop here. If you think if they blocked it, you can stop here, or you can finish it or counter it and hit. I don't know. I wouldn't really use this string that much, but the back 2, 1+2 has a cancel to it. You can cancel the 1+2 follow up. And remember I said about the mid or mid low mix up. This is just another layer that you can have. So back 2 into cancel, and then you can go from crouching mix up from here. And if you think they're going to interrupt the cancel, you can just finish it on block. It's okay string. Like I use it as a round killer, as a round ender. So that's the follow up there. Now, so yeah. Okay, back 3. Now this is probably the most hated move by this character. So back 3 is a natural launcher on normal hit. You can pick confirm it to the follow up quite easily. So that's the follow, like 4-3 is the follow up. So if the opponent blocked it, or they didn't walk into it, like you whipped it or something, you can just do back 3 on its own, and then you'd be like, she moves backwards a little bit, like a very tiny little bit. She moves backwards a tiny bit. It's -19 on block. It can be really awkward to whiff and block punish. So it can be, like I say, it can be really awkward to whiff and block punish. Like some characters, even if a character can even punish it, it might be a shit punish. Like it could be something really bad on block. Like Lee, I know, is a character that really struggles against this move because he doesn't get a very good punish on it. He just gets 4-4-3, I believe, and that's nothing compared to what Asuka can get off this. This move is really good for keep out. So if your opponent likes to approach you and they like mistime their dash block, or they like come in with buttons, like they're dashing at you with buttons or something, you can do back 3. They're like as a keep out kind of move, like a defensive keep out move. It has some high crush and it has some low crush properties in it, so it's okay as a panic move up close as well. It tracks to Asuka's left, so it tracks to her left really well. It destroys sidestep right and sidewalk right. So if it's a step to their right and your left, you can do back 3 to track them. This is especially good against Ixchei's Art of Phoenix, because Ixchei's Art of Phoenix, she does a sidestep right. She sidesteps right automatically when she does Phoenix. So, and she goes into like a low hitbox stance. So it's really hard to hit her, but back 3 destroys that. It destroys Ixchei if they go into Phoenix up close. it hits low enough to hit the meta bit, and it tracks that way as well. So back 3, really good keep back move, really good defensive move. And I wouldn't. This follow up is a little bit gimmicky, but it's the 4-2 follow up after back 3. I mean, so it's the 4-2 follow up. You're always going to want to do this. You're always going to want to do back 3 4-3. Like there's no reason to do anything else. So, Bosch, if you space out back 3 and they try to punish you, they try to like whip punish you, and they whiff their punish, you can kind of visually confirm that and do back 3 too. Now, two scenarios I would do this in. So back 3, they whiff their punish, and then you just whiff punish them, air quotes, whiff punish them with the 2 follow up. Or if they're the kind of player that waits for back 3 to finish, so they wait for this move to finish, and they want to press their advantage. They want to press their advantage on whiff, so they want to dash in and go for mix up. You can do the follow up to interrupt them as they come in. Obviously, really risky because this move is launch punch one block. Same properties as 4-2, it's launch punch one block. So be careful, but it's a cheese that Asuka has. So that's the follow up there I was talking about. So like if you hit this, just confirm it. Hard start with back 4. Back 4 is pretty good. Back 4 is pretty good. It's a 15 frame counter hit launcher. It's a 15 frame knee counter hit launcher. And it's really good up close to kind of keep your opponents in check. So if you think, you know, they're going to press buttons or to be like a little bit antsy, you can kind of do back 4 to keep them in check. It's a knee as well, so they can't. People can't reversal it, they can't parry it. Jin can parry, but normal parries won't work. So you can do back 4 as a mid check, like up close essentially. And it's +8 on hit. It's really good on hit. So it's really good on hit. +8 on hit. So you can do back 4 into another back 4 to frame trap. So what's next? Yeah, okay, so let's talk about the string here. This is a new string she has. Like this was in tag 2, but the third hit is new. So back 4-2. So I would be careful doing this string because if you do back 4 on counter hit and do the follow up, you lose your combo. So I would just recommend just doing back 4 on its own. Just fish for like launchers with it. If you do back 4-2, you lose your combo. Now back 4-2 is unsafe on block. It's -11, -12. I don't know the exact frame data. It'd be down there anyway. So back 4-2 is unsafe on block, and the third hit is launch punchable. It's -16, I believe. It is launch punchable on block. So be careful about finishing the whole string. Back 4-2 is slightly delayable. I think it knocks down a counter hit. No, it doesn't. Well, it didn't tag 2. It doesn't now. So you can slightly delay it, and I believe it's natural on counter hit to the follow up. But obviously, like it's a risk. Like it's a gamble against Asuka, I think. So personally, I would just do back 4 on its own. Just keep your combo up to ease, and you know keep the frames on hit. +8 on hit. Alright, what's next? Okay, this string here. So back 1 +4 is high into low. It's natural. The low is +5 on hits. The low itself is +5 on hits. And and the string has canned follow-ups. So it has a mid, it has a low follow-up. So back 1 +4 into the 3 is a low follow-up, or has back 1 +4 into 4, which is a mid follow-up. I don't think any of them are natural on counter hit. No, I don't think so. Maybe if the low connects. Yeah, so if just the low connects on counter hit, it's a follow-up. And if the last low connects on counter hit, you get 3-4-2 afterwards. Yeah, so combos there. And the mid it hits them as well. So it's a mid-low mix-up essentially. It's a 50-50. You can't really fuzzy guard, I think, because The timing's too like small in between the hits. Look what happens. I'll show you what happens. So record. You can't. What am I doing? You can't press buttons against the mids unblocked. So even if you block low, you can't press buttons against the mids. Like the mid will just counter if you press anything. I think even down chop as well. Yeah, you can't even down chop against it as well. So it's good. It's kind of okay to throw out. I actually have a setup with this move at the wall. Check my other OP video if you want to see that. I will explain it here, but check that video if you want to see it in more detail. Yeah, that's it for that move. Just cans 50-50 mix up really. Nah, see, they can low parry the second low. The first low. So they can low parry it in reaction. So just be careful. But if they can't, then you can kind of abuse it a little bit. But it's kind of quick. But just be careful if they can low parry it in reaction. And that's the mid follow up. Right there. So that's the mid follow up. Up 4-2. This move is just for 14 frame punisher. You can do it from crouching as well. So if you block a move from crouching that's standing, you can do up 4-2 from it. Or you can do up 4-2 from standing as well. So minus 14 moves, it's a 14 frame punisher. I wouldn't use it outside of punishment because it's a high. Like there's no really any reason to use it. So I would just keep the punishment, to be honest. What's next? Up 4-3. Ah yeah, this is a really good move. So up 4-3 is a low crush mid counter hit launcher. It's a mid counter hit launcher. It crushes. It's really good range. It's really quick on recovery, so it can be hard to whip punish if the opponent's not looking out for it. So if they're not looking out for this, you can you can't really whip punish it if they're not looking out for it. It's safe on block. It's minus 3 on block. It's plus 8 on hit. Plus 8, 2 plus 9 on hit. So remember I said you can do 1+2 afterwards to frame trap, to beat buttons, to beat ducking, and so on. So you can do this on hit into 1+2. Can't set mid launcher, like I said, really good range, no crushes. Really good move to use at range bits essentially. I recommend it. Probably top 10 move for me. Abuse it. Up forward 4, that's her hop kick. It's slower than normal hop kicks. Like normal hop kicks are usually 15 frame. Asuka's hop kick is 20 frame. It's 20 frame. I really see this is used for her 20 frame punishment. So if you block a move, if you block a low that's minus 20, go for hop kick. You can obviously get a combo afterwards. So you obviously get a combo afterwards, you know, so blah 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 blah. Hop kick, yeah, just slow hop kick, but still hop kick. 4-4-1. Okay, this is a new move. It's a mid. It's kind of slow, but it's a mid. It's plus 4 on block. That's the good thing about it. It's plus 4 on block. It knocks down a normal hit, and it's a counter hit launcher. It's a counter hit launcher. So blah blah blah. I really like using this move when an opponent tech rolls. So if they let's get to tech roll. So if they tech roll, you can do 4-4-1. So this is good because if you're not sure if they're gonna duck or not on wake up, you can just do 4-4-1, and if they block it, you're plus 4. If they duck and get hit by it, you know, you get knocked down and some damage. It rolls flats as well. And this move is a move that you would use to floor break. So that temple stage with the multiple floors, you use this to floor break because it's our most damaging floor break move. That's it really. So 4-4-1 into rage drive is guaranteed as far as I know. So 4-4-1 into rage drive is guaranteed. So just make sure you look out for that. So 4-4-1, that's it really. Next move, 4-4-2 strings. Okay. 4-4-2 strings. It's natural. 4-4-2-1. 4-4-2-1 is natural. It's a high. You can duck a high on block. So just let me do that, show that real quick. You can duck the high on block. So just be careful about that. It tracks one way, like really well. It tracks to Asuka's right. Yeah, it tracks to Asuka's right. So, no, I messed that up, sorry. No, it tracks to Asuka's left. So, opponent's right, my left. So it tracks that way a little bit. It's natural. You can kind of just chuck it out, like it was class. You can kind of just chuck it out. You can hold back to back roll afterwards. If they don't, you get 3-4-2 afterwards. But they can back roll that, so I'll show you. So don't do it. You can back roll afterwards. So if they don't, you get guaranteed 4-2 afterwards. So you get guaranteed 4-2 doing back roll. So that's the high extension. This is one of the mid extensions. This is one of the two mid extensions that she has from 4-4-2. So it's not natural. It's not natural. It is on counter hit. It is on counter hit. What I would use this for is it's a safe mid. Like the 4-4-2-3, the kick is safe. So if you don't want to commit to the 4-4-2-1+2, which is minus 13 on block, if they duct the 4-4-2, no sorry, if they block the 4-4-2 and they duck for the high, you can get them with the mid. Personally, it's okay. It's kind of situational. I would use this mainly for combos, like 4-4-2-3. I'll use it mainly for combos. Now let's see the other mid extension, which is 4-4-2-1+2. Now the difference between this and the other mid is it's natural. So this is natural, whereas this is only natural on counter hit only. So it's minus 13 on block. So be careful about kind of chucking it out a little bit. But if you think they're going to duck the high, you can do the mid. It wall splats. Like it's really good against it near the walls because you get a clean splat and so on. And so that's it. Just 4-4-2. Just mix up on block. Just high or safe high or unsafe mid. What's next? 4-4-3. 4-4-3 is really good. It's actually a really good move. It's a homing. It's a mid. It's a homing mid. It's safe on block. It is safe on block. It's high crushes as well. So if you think your opponent is going to come in with jabs, or if you just want to keep your opponent in check at range, this is the move you want to do. So if you just chuck it out, it's a homing. So if you think they're going to step at range, you can throw this out. Now, difference between this and 4-4. 4-4 is a high. 4-4-3 is a mid. So, you know, it's good to chuck out at range if you think your opponent's going to step or just approach because the high crushes as well or whatever. Good move. I would use it a lot personally. Pretty good move for Asuka. 4-4-4. I wouldn't really use this move too much. It's a natural launcher on counter. You can get some fancy combos off it. But it's really shit with. It's really bad with. It's a high, like you can see there. It's a high. I wouldn't really have much use for this move. It is her max staple from. I won't do it now because it's hard. But you can do like down 4-2, 4-4-4. Let me try it 2 times. I'll give her up after a while. Oh, here we go. Yeah, see that would be like max damage. So instead of 2-3, you would do 4-4-2-3. But other than that, I wouldn't really have much use for it. It's linear, it's slow, it's a high. Screw this move, personally. We're coming close to the ends now. So while running 3 is her generic while running 3. It is actually pretty good for a while running 3 because it's 0 on block at worst. So you can space it to be plus on block. It does good damage. It is linear, so be careful your opponent doesn't step this. It also low crushes a little bit, so you can see her hop. It's alright to approach the opponent with if they're not stepping. It was buffed, obviously. It's mostly used as a combo filler, so from stuff like this. So it'll be used mainly for combos, but you can use it to approach your opponent with, because, like I said, it's 0 at worst, and it can be plus on block if he's spacing out. Yeah, that's not much to say about this move really. It's just, it's a little bit better than a generic while running 3, I think, because most females while running 3s tend to be like negative on block, but Asuka's can be spaced to be plus, so it's good enough. Yeah, that's it really. It's nothing special, mostly used for combos, can be used to approach the opponent with. It's good damage, knockdown, wall splat and so on, all that jazz. While standing 1-4, I think it's skipping a few moves here. Yeah, hold on, just let me check the move list. I think it skipped a few moves. Yeah, okay, right. While standing 1-4, this is her 15 frame while standing punishment. While standing punisher, I mean. You get free 4-2 afterwards, or you get free down for 3 afterwards, or you get free. Anyone doesn't know me, my execution is shit, so bear with me. Okay, so you get rage strike combo with it. So it's a 15 frame punisher. Like if you block a minus 15 low, you do while standing 1-4 into whatever follow up you want. I personally like 4-2 because it flips them over and you get Oki afterwards, like a dash up, mid or low, whatever. Now it's a duckable high, so be careful. It is a duckable high, so don't just throw it out on block. I'll show you why. It is a duckable high. I think she's gonna do job first. Yeah, see, it's a duckable high. So be careful. I would just keep the punishment while standing 3. Now it doesn't include the follow up for some reason, but I'll talk about it anyway. So while standing 2 is +9 on hit. This is +9 on hit on its own. This move got buffed in Tekken 7. It used to be 14 frame, it is now 13 frame. So if you block a minus 13 low, you can do this. It's good. The first hit on its own is a pretty good mid poke because it's +9 and she's in their face. So it's a pretty good move on its own. And it has a follow-up. It's not listed in the move list, but it has a follow-up. And that follow-up is while standing 2-1. It is also +9 on hit. It also leaves her in their face. So remember I said if you're +9, +8, +9, you can do 1+2 afterwards. So it can't interrupt it at all in any way apart from backdashing. And it's a 13 frame punisher. Just be careful because you can duck the high. You can duck the high, so be careful with that. You can duck the high, so be careful. If you're in crouching, you can bully them with like lows and stuff, and you can use while standing 2 as a quick mid poke along with while standing 4. So you can use while standing 2 as a quick mid poke from crouching, blah blah, 4-2 cancel into that and so on. It's just a good mid check from. Obviously, just do the first hit on its own because you can duck the second hit. So be careful with that. Right, what's next? While standing 3. This is 19 frame. It's her 19 frame while standing punisher. So if you block something that's -19, go for while standing 3. If you block something that's -20, you want to go for hop kick, please, because you get more damage off the hop kick. While standing 3 can be awkward to punish because it's -16 now, I believe, and it has some pushback on use it. So yeah, it's just a while standing launcher. It's nothing special about it really. It does high crush, and it does a mid crush. I don't want to say mid crush. I mean it does go under some mids as well because she goes really low to the ground in the startup. So it can be alright to kind of approach and kind of chuck out. Maybe if you're that kind of player Go for it, you know. What's next? Well, yeah. This is the move that people are thinking, why does she have this move? It's really stupid. If you thought Tag 2's Brutes was bad, wait till you see this move. So on counter hit, sorry, I'll just go over basics first. So it's a mid from while standing. So it does good damage on normal hits. Now look at the damage on counter hit. You get free 4-2 afterwards. And you get a full combo as well. Now look at that damage. It's not just reasonable. And this is only -2 on block, and it has some pushback as well. So it's really cheap. And if the counter hits, just say goodbye to your health bar. Well, not there, but say goodbye to your health bar because you're gonna eat a lot of damage. Now, a lot of people hate this move with Asuka. It doesn't counter hit too often because it's a little bit slow, but when it does, it hurts. It hurts. You can cancel it with down, so you can hold down to cancel. So if they're afraid of being hit by it, you can cancel and then go for some cool while standing pressure, you know, blah 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 blah, whatever. You know, go for mid lows, go for low poking, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's it. Cheap moves, throw an edge if it hits, have fun. Twin cloud kicks. Okay, so this is while standing 3 plus 4, 3. So the first this is just while standing 3 plus 4 on its own. It's 20 damage, it's good frames on hit. It low crushes because she hops off the ground, so it low crushes. I like it as a mid option. Like if you think they're going to down chop or something, you can do this to hop over it. It has a follow-up, which is this. If you counter hit with the follow-up on its own, oh my god, I'm so bad at spacing. Well, I'm an Asuka player, so that doesn't matter. If you counter hit with the follow-up, oh my god, please. If you counter hit with the follow-up on its own, you get free 4-2 afterwards. So let me just space down it again. So you get combo 4-2 afterwards. So it's good to kind of approach with. It's good to approach with. Yeah, that's it really. Like, and if they press buttons, if they can jab float you. So let me set Asuka to do that. So your counter to this is to then jab it, or you can step it. You can step. I think you might step it to the right as well. Yeah, you can step to the right as well. So you can step to the right. You can step either way, or jab floats the follow up. I think it trades with 13, does it? No, it trades with. Does it trade with 12 frame? Yeah, it trades with 12 frame moves. 12 frame mids. So what was I gonna say? So the counter to that is, so you do while standing 3 plus 4 on its own into front crouching level 2. So if you go for a high, you know, she goes under it. If you step it, you can't step this low either way. I think. Yeah, so obviously the answer is to do that, but it trades with the follow-up and it's not in your favour as well, so that's it for that move. It's okay, I like it, it's kind of fun, like it's a fun move. What's next? Grace. Okay, this is a good move. It's a low from crouching, so it kind of it's 0 hits, and it's really good tracking both directions. So it's good to harass them with. And on counter hit, you get what's standing 1-4. And just remember your follow-ups. I talked about the follow-ups before. So on counter hit, you just go for this, or whatever. Hit the low poke, and you have so many ways to go into from crouching. Like what's standing 1 plus 2, cancel, 4-2 cancel, back 2 1 plus 2, cancel, sorry. Cancel, or you can just crouch in your face, remember, or down back 4, you know, going strings into down back 4, cancel to this or whatever. And remember you quick mids like what's standing 4 to keep them in check, or what's standing 2 at 13 frame, what's standing 4 11 frame. You know, you can bully them from crouching with Asuka. Asuka's gameplay is like really chip kind of play style. You want to annoy your opponent. And Grace is definitely one of them. So from crouching temperature, it's definitely one of those moves. Okay, I don't like this move. This move used to be her down for 3 in tag 2, which is now replaced by this move. It only launches on counter hit. It only launches on counter hit. It's unsafe on block. It's like mana thing on block. Personally, I don't like it. Like, I don't see any use in this move. I think it's one of her worst moves in the move list. So I would personally just ignore this move. She's better moves, she's better options, she's better moves. So just kind of gloss over this one. Slice step 2. Okay, this move is really evasive. You can see, like, you can slice that right into it. So she does like a double step when you do it. So you step and then do it, and she steps a little bit more. Really evasive. It's a really good panic move, and the stupidest thing about it is it's safe on block. It used to be -12 in tag 2, so if you punished it, you could do your 12 frame punisher. But in this game, it's -9, so you can't punish it at all. And if you think your opponent's gonna go for like linear-ish moves after hitting you, you can mash this out to like as a panic move, like you kind of pressure. And it's also good if you're like pressuring them on block and they retaliate. Let me turn this back to, yeah. So if they like block punish, if they block a move and retaliate, you can do like slice that 2 to evade the retaliation kind of. So it's a good panic move. I chucked this out like at least 10 times around because it's so stupid. Definitely a top 10 move for Asuka. Amelia, that sounds French. Isn't Asuka Japanese, but whatever. Slice that 4. It's a high crush counter hit launcher. It's a bit evasive. Like it comes out of slice that, does a little bit evasive. It's a counter hit launcher. The high crush it's really good frames on hit. I think it's like +7 on hit. It's safe obviously on block. It's really quick recovery, so it's really awkward to recover. Really awkward to whip punish, I mean. Definitely throw it out, definitely chuck it out. Good move. Good keep out kind of moves. Forward 1. So forward 1 is... Remember I talked about her job strings and her back 2 strings. Forward 1 is just another one. So forward 1, 3. It is the exact same as the second hit in 1-1. So 1-1, exact same. So you have all your options out of it. So forward 1, 3, forward 1, 4, forward 1, down 4. So forward 1, 3 is natural on counter hit. Like forward 1, down 4 should be natural counter hit. It is, yes. So forward 1, down 4 is natural counter hit as well. Forward 1 obviously is a natural counter hit, but you can delay it. So yeah, it's the same as our job strings and our back 2 strings. It's just another option. So we've seen all this. We've seen all this, right? Yeah, we've seen it as well. We've seen Sacred Blade as well. Now, Leg Cutter. Leg Cutter, so that is Denmark 4. So Denmark 4 by itself is 0 in hit. And it's really good because it's good range, really good range. It high crushes. That's the main reason why you want to use it over Denmark 3 or so. So Denmark 4 high crushes, and it's a low that you would use to start your offense with Asuka. So you want to do this low, and then you can kind of stay in the face and go for mix-ups afterwards. It is 0 on hit, so it's not just free mix-ups. So, but you can like move around afterwards. So like bait whips or whatever. You can backdash from it, or you can slice that one from it, or you can hold down and go for mix-ups and crouch. Let's see. Yeah, it's not natural counter hit. But the second low by itself is natural counter hit. I can combo off it. So Denmark 4, 3. You can go combo off that. The second low is safe on block. The second low is safe on block. They can low parry on hit. So let me show you. You can low parry on hit. So just be careful with that. You can low parry and hit, so just you can throw it out if your opponent's not looking out for it. Like if they're not looking out for it, you can throw it out. It's not natural to the mid launch, to the high launcher. It used to be in tag 2, but I was nerfed in this game. I'm a little bit sad about it, but whatever. We move on. So it's not natural counter hit, or it's not natural normal hit. I mean, second low into the high, but like the move itself, it's a good low approach. It high crushes. It's an offensive low, you know. And then that's the high follow up. That's the high follow up. The first hit on counter hit into the high is natural on counter hit, but otherwise I would re-throw it out. So what's next? Oh yeah, this just goes into 1+4 string. Ignore it because you can then, remember I said earlier, you can then chop it on hit, so just ignore that. 10 hit combo, you can learn that if you want, I wouldn't recommend it. Grabs, this is alright, it's a good grab, you can sidestep at the back rise and then go for a mix up. So what I like to do is sidestep left, because when you hold back, they're always going to back rise to your left, so you can sidestep and then go for a mix up or just do whatever. Go for Denmark 4, go for Denmark 3, go for 1+2 mid check, wherever you want. This is just the same, it's just forward grab. It's a little bit slower than generic grabs, but it tracks a little bit better, but you know all about that. So 2+4, it's just good throw, good Oki. So you can kind of go for Oki, it's just not a generic grab. Side grabs, I won't go over that, but you can see all that shit there. So side grabs both ways. And back grab. So back grab, you can see that as well. White Mountain is a 2 break. This is a 2 break. So if your opponent's pressing 1 break for some reason, against Asuka you'll be just pressing 2 or 1+2 break. If you can't react to the limbs obviously, and you just want to guess, press 2 or 1+2. So this is a 2 break. It's good Oki, you can walk forward a little bit on back rise and then go for mix up or whatever. I'll go over Oki in more detail in another video. I'm just showing you the grabs for now. Destabilizer. So this is a weird grab in the way that's not actually a throw. It's a high grab. It's +8 on block. No, I say on block, but it's unbreakable. It's unbreakable. This grab is unbreakable. She pulls her hair down. And it's +8, so you can frame trap with this afterwards, or you can do down 1+2. Be careful because you can't backdash that. But you can start going for like lows or whatever, or mids, so you mid checks, grab them, get +8 and go ham. It's okay. Cherry Blossom, 1+2 break, just your standard command grab, 1+2 break. I lost the command list somehow. So 1+2 break. What's next? Falling Rain. So this is it for her from crouching grab. So Falling Rain is a launcher. It's a grab. It's a 1+2 break, and it's good. Like you can go into cancels. You can go cancels into Falling Rain. You can blah blah blah. It's good. It's just another layer to her from crouching mix up. So blah 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 whatever, you know, so on. Yeah, go for it. Her reversal. So her reversal has 2 variations. The 2 inputs shown, you can do either one of them. They're the exact same, so you can do either. So you can do it 2 ways. You can do a short version, or you can do a long version. So let me show you. So let's see. Let's get Asuka to push the other Asuka. So jab into that, for example. Okay. So it starts up in 3 frames, so the reversal is active from the 3rd frame, so that's really fast. So we can go bam. It has different animations for different limbs. So that was the 4. That was the 4 kick. That was 4. So let's see, jab. I think there's a different animation if you do 3. So jab into 3. So if you do the 3, she just kicks them down that way. So there's different animations for the 2 different kicks. I believe that the punch reversals are the same. So let's see, let's have the jab into a jab. So jab into jab, she gets that. It's the same for the other one, I believe, I'm pretty sure. For 2. So jab into 2. should be the same. Yeah, it's the same. And you actually, well, I can't show it here because it's a little bit awkward, but you can get Rage Drive for free off the punch reversal. So if you reversal a 1 or a 2, you get Rage Drive if you have it for free. You can chicken it. I can't test that in training mode myself, I think. So I might make a video based on chickening later on. There's loads of tutorials out there about chickening, I'm sure. But basically, if you think your opponent's going to press buttons on you, you can just kind of scare them a little bit with a reversal. It loses to elbows, knees. So I'll show you, for example. So we'll record over this. So I jab into reversal. Let's set this to go. So obviously I got reversal there. Okay, so but if I do a knee, it beats out the reversal, or if I do a shoulder, it beats out the reversal, or if I do an elbow, that was not an elbow. So if I do, oh my god, please. Yes, if I do an elbow, it beats it as well. It does count to 4-2. That was weird, but it does count to 4-2. So that's not good. I'll do the long version just to be safe. So it does counter 4-2 as well. I think it should anyway. Yeah, it does actually. So you can do elbows, you can do knees, one do faster, and so on. You know. Right, that's it. What's next? Sample combos. I have a combo. There's a combo section in my tutorial, so ignore these. Rage art. Let's stick on rage. Rage art. I don't really have much use for her rage art. Like, it's just a standard panic rage art, you know. It's whatever. Her rage drive, I think, is one of the best rage drives in the game. It is so good because remember I talked about demo plus 2 into rage drive. I'll just do it once more. You guys see that's not a guarantee. No, it's so hard to do. No, not gonna get good. You have to like buffer it. It's really tight. This is something you have to practice. Okay, yeah, that's the one that works. So you get 60. He is 61 damage low. This turns into 61 damage low with Rage Drive. Okay, you've seen it work. So practice that. Definitely practice that. You can do a 4-4-1 as well into Rage Drive. You can do it as a combo ender. So you can do it as a combo ender into huge damage. Watch this, you get 4-4-1 afterwards. Why am I so shit today? You can do Rage Drive into 4-4-1. Look at that, chunks, it does chunks. You can throw a legend neutral, it's +9 on block. Reset into Girdle. It's +9 on block, and she's in their face. +9 in their face, so you can do like 1+2 as a really good mid check, or go for lows or whatever, go for your mix-ups. So yeah, combo ender, guaranteed off some knockdowns, so like demo +2, 4-4-1, or reversal, punch reversal. There might be some other situations, but those three are the main ones where you will get that. Combo extender, and just kind of chuck it out in neutral because it's +9 in block. I don't know the optimal combo, but it's something like this. I don't know, I didn't really explore optimal combo first, but I'll find out when I post luck. So that's it really for Asuka's move list. I know this is a long video, but I really want to go into detail on her move list. I was hoping to have this as like a complementary video to the tutorial. And in my mindset, it's like if you watched all the way to this point, you're definitely a guy that wants to commit to this character and wants to learn as much as he can by her, which I assume hopefully that you did in some way. Yeah, that's it. My throat is actually dead. I'm doing this all in one setting, like no lights, no camera, no action, all in one setting, so my throat's gonna get a little hoarse now. But that's it for this character. That's our move list. I hope it helped. if you've any questions, leave in the comment section. I'll try my best to get around to it. And thanks for watching this bar. Bye bye.